Okay, I'm gonna do this live because I did not have time to record this week. So we're going live and I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough and you can watch the replay of this. And if you are watching the replay, feel free to ask questions. If you're watching it live with us today, feel free to drop your comments in below and allow StreamYard to give you access or I'm not gonna be able to see it. But I can always come back after the recording and when you catch the replay. So we are going through and we're going to talk about how you can use Clickup for your SOPs. So a lot of the times this is a question that pops up with clients and when I'm doing Clickup builds, like how can I use my SOPs? What if I already have some done? What are best practices? And one thing I'm always going to say is it depends on what you already have done, what's going to be the most time effective and cost effective for you and your team to complete. So if you are a newer business owner, this would be a good video for you to just get the foundations right. If you're new to ClickUp, this is a great video for you as well to get your SOPs that maybe are already pre-existing from Google into your ClickUp. So I have a few favorite tools for SOPs. I like using Scribe to record SOPs for written purposes, and I like using Loom to record videos for SOPs as well. And then I will lay them out in a Google Word doc or embed that video into the Word doc. And I have an SOP template that I use for a lot of my clients that we can then embed into ClickUp and people can find them. And the reason I like using ClickUp, and you'll see here, I'm doing this for a client. They have a lot of SOPs kind of scattered in their Google Drive. These are two business owners coming together, having one business now. So they do have some content from different businesses that we can pull in and trainings from other businesses that we can pull in. So we are working on streamlining that and why I like using ClickUp for teams, especially. I will show you at the end of the video because I don't want to jump the gun on this, but it makes sense once we go through this process and how I set this up, why you want to have your instructions in two places, meaning having the docs in Google and having your SOPs referenced in your SOP folder in ClickUp. So right now you can see I have an SOP folder on the right-hand side here for my team. It's under the operations space. And there is a library and then a to create. So we'll go through and I'm going to do it just like I would. Say we have an idea for an SOP and you have ideas that you want to create. I've already put a few in here. So the process that these SOPs would go through these are all ones that we need to create or document, like they're maybe not done. So I don't want to lose track of them. Your team might not want to lose track of them. So we have them here and then you would assign and due date them and give them a priority. And I would probably add in a show a last comment. So here we'll show latest comment just so that we can see if there's any conversation going on about these, any updates, anything like that. And for some companies, depending on your structure and your hierarchy, I would add not only the assignee, but then a drop down for department. We don't have a need for that, but I would say you could add a drop down custom column and say which department this goes to. And then you could also add an attachment column, but you'll see I like to embed it directly into the task. So in the board view, you can see a little bit better the process. So we have to create if it's in progress and being written and drafted, if it's ready for review, because I want to get the CEO feedback as well, or the department head feedback, depending on the structure of the team. And then once you go to file for maintenance, what we would do is we would add an automation. So when it goes from any status to under close, filed for maintenance, we're going to confirm. And then we are going to go down to move to list, and we're going to have it go. So this is kind of a good example of when a lot of my clients get confused about this, when you have a list for one process and then it gets pushed to another list. Like the task itself is going to go through a process in one list, and once it's done, it'll move to another list to go through maybe a different process. So this is a good example of how you could do that and how you can link these lists together. So this automation is one I use a lot with my clients. So it would go over to the SOP library. We don't want to keep it in, we don't need to keep it in the current list. We can just move it straight to the SOP library. Right now, we're not going to add another additional action. You could. And then you can just, I would change all to admin, because you don't need to pick all these because you're not moving anything from these statuses. It will all be filed from maintenance. And I would just put them under admin, and then we could move them as they come over and organize them better. And you'll see that. Actually, yeah, we just changed all those to admin. Or we could have a to filed status. And then we go over to the SOP library, and we can see here, this is how I would use your to be your organizers for different types of SOPs. So this helps us organize the SOPs a little bit better. This is the custom columns I use are assignee, due date. So if we are going to update it, we know when to update it by, if it's up to date, or like these are all up to date because they're new. But if it were to be the last time it was up to date, if it's been maybe more than 2 or 3 months, I would change them to needs review. We would also want to add in a last updated, so we could keep track of when these have been updated last. This would do it automatically, or you could just add in a column and have a date column of last updated. And then assignee would be your owner, who's in charge of updating this, keeping track of it. And then where's the one I would also, I would have a department one as well, depending on your team. For this team, it doesn't make sense to have that, but this is something I would I've set up for other clients as well. I don't think there's any other custom columns I typically use other than date updated, so we know. And so you can see in the board view a little bit better. We have admin SOPs, accounting and finance is a good one, team trainings, operations, social media, client management, sales management. So this is a newer build, so we haven't had a lot put in here. Then I always include a status for ClickUp trainings to help the team. And you could make statuses for specific tech if it makes sense for your team to have like a Thrive cart or a Kajabi status or specific tech, but those also could just live under, depending on the SOP, live under team trainings or client management or operations, something like that. And so these ones for the ClickUp aren't as in-depth as others, but I do embed videos for people to watch. So this is why I recommend having your SOP here, and then you can embed the video directly, or you can embed the SOP via a document in Google. You would just click the link and it would embed directly in here. So one, you have a backup, because it's always good to have backups, because unless you're paying for a third-party ClickUp tool, there's only one that I know of that's even kind of good at this right now, they're still developing them, are backup tools. Like if you're not using that, then you want to have an SOP backup just in case something were to happen with your ClickUp. So embedding those Word docs, embedding those videos directly in to the task makes it super helpful. You can add in some checklists or additional text if you needed to. So this one, we don't have a written SOP yet. We have the Loom video, and then I always like to include links to what you need to get started, making sure they have it. If there's something else in our ClickUp, it can be tagged. So we organize them, they move through the to create, they have the folder. And then why I like doing it this way in having them embedded, you're like, what does this really do for me? How does this really help? So there's two reasons why I think this is a great tip, especially if you have your whole team and all your operations and all your business in ClickUp. When you're going and creating a new task for a team member, so maybe you're going to a team task, I'll say it's to me. So I'm going to say, write a blog, because that one's in here. So I could be creating a task and I could be adding instructions, blah, blah, blah. And then I can quickly, as a project manager for this team, I would just quickly add, and then there it is. I can reference the SOP right in my task description, and they don't have to leave or get confused or go and find it. It can quickly be added in. I love adding my task descriptions like this. And then also for client and team, or not client onboarding, team onboarding, really, you can duplicate the tasks. This is how I like to do it because I found it's the best way to know when they have completed something. So you can go to your SOP library. And here's an example, is I click on the right, this little button, hold the shift key and come down to these. I can duplicate the tasks and send them to a team member's folder, or their, well, not their folder, their task list. And I could click me, and you'll see, oh, there's custom fields. Do nothing. You don't need to do the custom fields. They just need to be able to review. So I would set that to do nothing. I would assign those team members these tasks in their list, and then they can complete them, and I can see when they've completed these trainings. So if you have specific team trainings, especially for that are important in the first few weeks and want to have that part of your onboarding, you can duplicate these so that they are checking it off, and you know that they're checking off these trainings and they're being held accountable for their onboarding, and so that you know that they are up to speed on all your SOPs, that they have reviewed them. They can ask questions right there, because if you try to assign them anything in the SOP library, most of the time what I see happen is team members will complete it and then it hides the whole task from the SOP library. And I mean, that's an easy fix too. If someone were to do that, you could just show closed tasks and then it would pop up, or you can go to the board view and find closed tasks here. So that makes it really easy. And if you prefer, you can also show this in a table view so that it looks more of like a spreadsheet instead of the task. But I like being able to see it like this so I can see the organization. And then another thing you might want to group them by is owner. So if you have multiple owners or multiple department heads who manage your SOP library, then you might want to group them by assignee to see like, okay, which ones are here, or we could even assign group by custom field and up to date. So we could filter whether they're up to date or needs review to see the data in a little bit of a different way. So that's how I like to do it. And I use Loom, like I said, Loom, Scribe, and Google Docs. And then I pull them all in to these tasks. But the nice thing is also when you have like your SOPs to create, you can create these subtasks and assign out like in the to create phase, create the scribe process, or like outline our process, do the scribe video, like training, create the Loom video, import into the SOP template on the Word doc, and then like all the subtasks to create this would go underneath as subtasks, and then you could assign those out. So I should have been doing the screen. I forgot you guys can't see it. But map out process, that would be a subtask. And then so on and so forth. We would just add subtasks like that, assign them out, and add due dates based on rough turnaround times and capacity planning. So that is how I use it and how you guys can use it to better keep track of. And like I said, it's all about being able to reference these later on when you're in there making tasks. You're not wasting time. It just makes everything more efficient. And then also you can assign them easier to onboarding team members. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, please feel free to drop those in the comments as well. This was definitely a shorter video today, but I feel like this is very action-packed and actionable. If you are interested in ClickUp and you're struggling to get started, our Back Pocket Ops membership has launched, and a lot of these templates that I'm showing you are going to be available. And then the benefit of the Ops membership, the Back Pocket Ops membership, is that you can ask me Voxer questions or email questions to help implement and how to better customize them. I feel like giving people these templates, it makes it harder if I just give them to you, because then you're like stuck with what do I need to do to implement? How do I customize this to me? So that's why in the Back Pocket Ops membership, you get that type of access to me and my team. And we will have a shared ClickUp list that you get between me and you for goal planning to help like map out, okay, like these are when I'm going to do this. It's not just you get this done, do it yourself course and you never like implement it. No, we are going to make sure you're implementing it, you're asking questions, you have the support you need so that you can create strong operational foundations for you and your business. So that will also be linked in the show notes for you guys as soon as it's up and ready. If you're interested in joining now, if you join before May 12th, you get an extra systems audit with me, a one-on-one call with me, and you can instantly get access to the Voxer and the email support and the ClickUp list as the trainings are being built in our membership portal. And there will be new trainings each month. And then starting in July, we will have guest trainings that will start to show up as well. So it won't just be my trainings and my ops expertise. We will have some guest trainings as well. So I'm really excited about that. So also, if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to get future videos from us, because there's going to be more ClickUp content coming out, especially with ClickUp 3.0 becoming live, and a lot of Zaps and ChatGPT content that I have planned for everyone, because I know that those are really going to be game changers for automation and efficiency. So I want to make sure you all understand how to use it better for your business.